A French passenger from the MV Hondius Hantavirus outbreak is now critically ill in Paris, with her doctors using an artificial lung support device as part of what has been described as the final stage of supportive care. Her identity has not been publicly released, but her case has become one of the clearest signs of how serious this rare cruise ship outbreak has become. On April 1, 2026, the MV Hondius left Ushuaia, Argentina, on a long expedition voyage toward the Canary Islands. Before we walk through the confirmed timeline, please subscribe, like, and share to support Starline Daily for more verified updates and trending public interest stories. The ship's route was meant to include remote stops across the South Atlantic, including Antarctica, the Falkland Islands, South Georgia, Tristan da Cunha, St. Helena, Ascension, and Cape Verde. But by early May, the voyage had turned into a multi-country public health response after passengers and crew became linked to a cluster of severe respiratory illness. The latest medical update centers on a French woman being treated at Bichat-Claude Bernard Hospital in Paris. According to her treating doctor, infectious disease specialist Dr. Xavier Lescure, she has developed life-threatening lung and heart complications. She is now receiving support from a machine that oxygenates blood outside the body before returning it, giving the heart and lungs a chance to recover. This has not been described publicly as a cure. Health authorities say hantavirus treatment is mainly supportive care, meaning doctors manage symptoms and organ support while the body fights the infection. In severe cases, that support can become intensive, especially when breathing becomes difficult or the lungs are affected. The World Health Organization says that as of May 13, a total of 11 cases linked to the cruise ship had been reported, including 3 deaths. 8 cases were laboratory confirmed as Andes virus infection, 2 were probable, and 1 remained inconclusive while further testing continued. All reported cases were among passengers on the ship. The virus involved has been identified as Andes Hantavirus. Most hantaviruses are mainly associated with exposure to infected rodents or their urine, droppings, or saliva. Andes virus is unusual because it is the only hantavirus known to be capable of limited person-to-person spread, typically through close and prolonged contact with someone who is sick. That point is important because public health officials have also emphasized what this story is not. Authorities have said the risk to the general public remains low, and the WHO has said current information does not indicate the beginning of a larger outbreak. Still, because the incubation period can be long and because transmission details are still being studied, exposed passengers and crew are being monitored closely. The ship's operator, Oceanwide Expeditions, first described a serious medical situation aboard the MV Hondius while the vessel was off Cape Verde in early May. At that time, the company said 2 crew members had acute respiratory symptoms and confirmed through the WHO that a variant of hantavirus had been identified in a Dutch woman who died after disembarking in St. Helena. Publicly confirmed deaths linked to the outbreak include a Dutch couple and a German national. The exact full sequence of transmission remains under investigation, but the WHO has said the working hypothesis is that the first case may have been acquired before boarding, through exposure on land with later transmission occurring aboard the ship. That has not yet been presented as a final conclusion. By May 10 and May 11, the MV Hondius arrived in Tenerife in Spain's Canary Islands, and the disembarkation of passengers and part of the crew was completed. From there, people connected to the ship were repatriated to multiple countries through arranged flights and placed into monitoring or quarantine according to local public health plans. In the United States, the CDC said the risk to the American public remained extremely low, while officials worked with international partners. Some American passengers were taken to Nebraska and Georgia for monitoring, and one U.S. case was later described as inconclusive while additional testing continued. The European Center for Disease Prevention and Control has also said this is a rapidly evolving situation, with daily updates reflecting case counts and risk assessments. As of its May 13 update, the ECDC listed 11 reported cases, 3 deaths, and a very low risk to the general EU and EEA population. The MV Hondius has since departed Tenerife and is expected to return to the Netherlands, where the ship is set to undergo cleaning and disinfection under health authority guidance. The operator has said the ship cannot sail without official authorization, and its future schedule depends on that process. For now, the clearest confirmed update is that the French passenger remains critically ill in Paris. The outbreak remains under international monitoring, and health authorities are continuing contact, tracing, testing, quarantine, and case management. What remains unresolved is the final confirmed source of the outbreak and whether any additional cases will appear during the incubation window. Thank you for supporting Starline Daily, and we'll continue following the verified public updates as they become available.